All right, remember we're doing camera angles.
And 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah. Can I get a standing ovation for the authentic voice of culture? We are Tkbs and I'm your lifestyle specialist, Kenny Burns. I miss y'all. I love y'all. Thank you for participating in all these amazing interviews we've been doing. Can I get a round of applause? I need a round of applause for Christopher Williams. That interview went crazy. Oh, yeah. I need a round of applause for Case. Oh, that interview went crazy. Oh, we did that. And big shout to RL from Next. Last week's interview was amazing. And ladies and gentlemen, episode 170. Wow. 170 episodes of the Kenny Burns Show comes out tomorrow. And boy, do we have an interview for you. It's one of my favorite times. Interviewing, I'm sorry, not times. It's one of my favorite things to do, interviewing these amazing superheroes. You dig what I'm saying? And I want to ask you, can you put the camera on, y'all? How did y'all feel? I'm going to start with you, Indy. How did you feel about today's conversation?
Today's conversation was very good. Sorry.
On camera. I love it. That's right.
Today's conversation went really well. I think the energy was great. Our special guest energy was really high and had a lot of, stories to drop. And I had a fun fact. I had a favorite.
Yeah.
But I'm going to wait, till the show.
Because you don't want to tell it.
We don't want to tell it, but there was some real juice there. There was some real legacy there.
There was some real juice and some real legacy. All right, Tiffany, how'd you feel about it, baby? I didn't say take the camera. See, look, you move too fast. Listen to me. Don't listen to your brain.
Look, what Ron say? I'm just making sure I'm straight. I'm active right now.
How did you like today?
Oh, today was amazing. Like, I don't think y'all are ready for this episode. This episode, listen, the iteration is iterating, okay? So just be locked and loaded because it was so many things that I did not know. And I'm talking about, oh my gosh, the entire time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And not to mention, okay, I was about to say the Detroit connection, but okay.
Yeah, Detroit connection. What up, though, to Detroit? How y'all doing first before I get into my weekend? Y'all good? I don't see y'all in the comments. Where the comments at? Are the comments on the screen or is it, am I missing something?
No, they still commenting. It's going ham sandwich.
Okay, I want to see the comments. I miss y'all. I want to see what you're talking about. But how y'all doing? Did you have a good weekend? Me, I was in Detroit, Michigan. What up, though? To everybody in Detroit, I love you like cook food. Every time I go there, it reminds me of my childhood. And yes, I did live in Detroit for a couple years growing up. A lot of people that went to junior high school with me for the time I did a junior high school year or two there. They think I'm from Detroit because I went to high school, 10th and 11th grade there. Well, part of 10th, I went back to Rabaul in D.C. where I'm from, then came back and did Benedictine, got kicked out of there. And I'm going to talk about how I just saw a motherfucker that got me kicked out of Benedictine in 2 seconds. But I love going back to Detroit, and partly because of JRLA. That's right, Jalen Rose Leadership Academy. I want to shout my brother Jalen out for doing the amazing work with these kids. He is constantly putting people out into the world, letting them know that one, they are cared about, because not only do they offer the education at Jalen Rose Leadership Academy, but they help you post-graduating. And so what he's doing at JRLA should be talked about. It should be supported. They exist only on donations. They exist only with outside help and sponsorship. They have no state funding. So big shout out to you and what you're doing for those kids. And as long as it is there, I will be there to support those amazing scholars. That's another thing. Let me get this camera right here, baby. That's another thing. He calls them scholars. He doesn't even refer to them as students. And his graduation rate is at almost 100%. So big shout out to you and what you're doing. Big shout out to Dennis Archer, who's also in that picture. Dennis Archer is a Detroit legend. We've been rocking since we were teenagers, but he literally does the best events with his company, Ignition Media Group. And he has this event called Glamour. Yeah, and it's basically for the preview of the auto show. He does the after party. The big auto show happens in Detroit. And after they preview the cars and all that, he does the best party in the city. It's called Glamour. Big shout to my brother, DJ Emmett, who was alongside me. And big shout to the first black woman mayor, the first woman mayor in Detroit history, but the first black woman mayor. I forgot her name, child. What was it again? Mary Sheffield. Mayor Mary Sheffield. We salute you. We appreciate you. You were beautifully dressed in that gown, child. Your husband was a player. I knew he was a player because you know what I'm saying. he got the first black woman mayor on his arm. The dream is real. And they were partying all night. It was a great time. And I just want to shout out everybody who was there, especially this nigga James. I went to Benedictine. Little story time. This story time. This story. Give me this camera right here, man. In the 10th grade, I went to Benedictine High School on Outer Drive, and I forgot what side street was, child. And I went to the rival school the year before. Now I knew coming to this school was going to be a thing because I don't care if you went to Cody Redford or you went to St. Mary's or Benedictine. You had hood tendencies all over the school system, public or private. Okay, and I knew. You know what I'm saying? First of all, I'm light-skinned back in the era when the light-skinned, dark-skinned thing was a serious thing. Okay, and they used to try to think shit was sweet because I was light-skinned, but then of course I had to show them at all times that I was ready to be militant and violent if necessary. Because you weren't about to just say nothing to me, trying to embarrass me. We was gonna fight. So sophomore year, ladies and gentlemen, I'm dating Ingrid Jackson. Ingrid, if you're out there, I hope you're well and have children. And just, I don't know, wish you're happy. Okay, great. But I was dating Ingrid, and this guy played for the football team. His name was James Harrison. I don't know if his last name was Harrison, but James. You know who you are, nigga. James was the captain of the football team. I heard his daddy was the police. I didn't even know that in high school, so everything makes sense about how it happened and what happened. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I guess he used to date Ingrid too. All right, but I'm a player. I came to play. All right, come to high school, I get my boo. All right, we doing our thing. But they used to kind of like taunt me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I told you, he not necessarily brown. He brown skin, he not dark skin. So I was wondering why you would try to have black on black crime. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm feeling this angst and this energy. So, ladies and gentlemen, St. Mary's of Redford played Benedictine. That was like a war. It was a basketball game, but you knew something was gonna pop off. 9 out of 10 times, something was gonna pop off. So I'm in there, and this is my version of the story. If anybody was there and you want to add to it, get in the comments. I'm telling my truth. So long story short, I remember he was talking shit because I was over there sitting with the St. Mary's of Redford crew. I'm gonna come back to the middle now. Change the camera. So I'm goddamn it, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm hyping with people, da. So he said something slick. I was like, man, fuck you. Just couldn't help it. It just came out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, am I about to get jumped? Because, it's way more Benedictine people than the St. Mary's. I had my little crew, but, the football team is the football team, and they ran in packs, child. Do you know this man tried me? He had a Houdini hat on. He's 6'5", too, or something like that. I don't know if he actually 6'5", but he had a Houdini hat. I just remember jumping, grabbing the hat, trying to choke this shit out. And you remember the little cord they had, the Houdini hat? I was trying to choke the shit out this nigga. All I remember is I didn't get touched too many times. I don't remember quite what happened, but I ain't lose nothing. And I don't remember, he was bigger than me, so I don't know how he got up out my gangster claw trying to choke him to death with that Houdini hat. But I do remember a Suzuki Samurai got pushed on the freeway, the Southfield Freeway. But anyway, big shout out to James because he came to the thing, and I got stuck for a second. Niggas is dapping me up. Kenny, what's up all night long? And I'm like, oh, shit, nigga. Dap the nigga, see the other nigga. And I was like, James? Like, it was like, I got triggered. James! Seen that nigga. I got weird. So anyway, big shout out to everybody who attended Glamour 2026. You don't be knowing what's going on at these events. You know what I'm saying? You see me up there in the motherfucking St. Laurent white boots and that motherfucking ice blue suit with that off-white turtleneck on. You think everything's sweet. But I remember, nigga. I remember. I was looking at the camera. You just got it. Okay, great. All right, back to the middle camera. All right, so, but that was my weekend. The next day, I went to see my brother Larry Morrow in New Orleans. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. He always celebrates his birthday with the legendary Black Affair. Now, he has a legendary Black Affair in New Orleans, and my brother Curtis Givens has a legendary Black Affair that we do in November. But we had an amazing time. As you can see on the screen, he had Meek Mill, Rick Ross. When I tell you movie, this was a movie. This was a movie. It was unbelievable. Big shout out to Kanan. Big shout out to James, Emlime James. He is killing the game with his fashion brand out of New Orleans. Big shout out to everybody. And big shout to Baby A. I want to shout this brother out, man. I've been mentoring him for some time. And, you know, in New Orleans, I'm going to this camera now, they talk crazy to each other sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in the crowd, and all of a sudden I heard like, man, I just want to shout at this nigga Kenny Burns. He was mean as shit to me back in the day. And I'm like, oh shit, what is going on? What's about to happen? And then he went on to say, but you know, he sent me this message, and now it's my intro to when I come out and host parties. And he played a message I sent him. And I ain't gonna lie, I got a little teary-eyed. I was just like, damn, like, you know, you try to speak life into people. You tell the truth. You give them your advice from a real place, which is experience. And this is the only, you know, place I come from with my advice and my love. And he's received it. So I want to shout out, baby, you doing your thing. But the intro made me smile, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That filled my cup. And I had an amazing time, as I always do. And big shout out to Larry as well. He's created the Soho Weekend. Go to sohoweekend.com, see what it's all about. But it's the Southern Hospitality Weekend. And there were people from all over the country. Junior Martins from Houston, Texas, big entrepreneur and hospitality entrepreneur out of Houston. You had Don Pooh, who owns Brooklyn Chop House, which was, you know, one of my favorites. He also just opened one up in Miami. So big shout to him and his beautiful wife. It was so many entrepreneurs from all over the country that are in the hospitality business. Big shout out to Earn Your Leisure was there. Rick Ross was on stage speaking to it as well, obviously, as, you know, performing that night with Meek Mill. But I want to shout him out because, you know, as Earn Your Leisure has Invest Fest in Atlanta, Soho Weekend for Larry Morrow is going to be a huge thing. So if you want to be in the hospitality business, I want you to go to sohoweekend.com right now and check out what they're cooking in New Orleans. Matter of fact, cooking in New Orleans just sounds like a whole thing in of itself, because you know they got the best seasoning and crawfish and oysters and red beans and rice and all the things. So it's only appropriate that he does the Southern Hospitality Weekend in New Orleans. All right, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Now it's time. I got to get my little things right. We live. Now it's time for episode. I was about to go to another. Yeah, TKBS Live. Thank you. All right, and it is live. And Tiffany, you were talking about something earlier. I want you to put the camera on yourself and come on. We were talking about something earlier, and I think, did Nicki Minaj just come out again and say something in defense of how she was in support of the MAGA movement?
Yes, she did.
Oh,
you know I can't stand her.
What?
So the fact that she's coming out talking about Don Lemon needs to be arrested for being on the ground. Oh,
why would she say that?
Let me light her inflatable ass up. So not only did she
Hold
show
on, Tiffany, breathe, because you look like you about to go. Don't have them people at the office door now.
You right.
Calm
Look,
down.
but you know, the reason why I am just so over it, because you guys know I've already written an expose talking about her and how she's anti-Black anyways. And then she showed her ass during the Turning Point USA, which we covered on episode 168, when she was up there with Erica Kirk talking about, she said that Black men needed to be Black men and that we looked up to Donald Trump and called him sexy. She just lying.
Well, she like pedophiles, though.
Oh, hello, because and this is on record, so that is not libel. Her father and her brother both have been convicted of that, along with her husband being convicted of sexual assault.
I did not know her daddy.
Yes.
Wow.
See, that's why Cardi made that whenever they was beefing to her son, that letter to her son talking about, I know you're going to get urges, but choose the otherwise.
Really?
So her whole family is riddled with that type of foolishness.
This is not allegedly.
That is not allegedly. This is a real thing, and it's all on court records. And so that's one of the reasons why people aren't surprised that she chose MAGA, because what's MAGA full of? Pedophiles. They're full of pedophiles.
Okay, everybody calm down.
I mean, but no, I mean, that's the truth. And so
I just, you know, give me, thank you, come back. Because Tiffany said something about these folks one time, they came looking for her. Okay? I just want to tell y'all, these folks are different. They was doxing her. But apparently this is a real thing, what she said, so I want to calm her down. Now, I'm going to come back to you. Put the camera back. Put the camera back on you, Tiffany. All right, now Ice, Tiffany, you told me, and actually the crew, that Ice is in Atlanta?
Yes.
I didn't know. I was away for the weekend. So I didn't know. They're here?
Yes. Not only have they been in the Atlanta area, they've been in Marietta, Kennesaw, everywhere around there. Any neighborhood that has a high immigrant population, they're hitting hard. But not only that, Christy Nome, the director of human resources, literally said that we need to be prepared as American citizens to walk around with verification to verify who we are. Now, mind you,
That don't make sense.
exactly. America is a paperless nation. It's a democratic society.
You don't have to walk around with proof of who you are.
That part, like, you don't have to not only walk around with proof of who you are, but that is a straight violation of the Fourth Amendment, which means gives us the right to refuse illegal search and seizure.
Got it.
So that whole, you have to have probable cause. So even when we have to go out with ID, if for the police to stop you, they have to tell you that you're being detained and why they're detaining you. Why?
Right.
Because that gives them the reason to then say, this is why I need your ID.
Wow.
The fact that ICE, or the fact that the Trump administration is trying to act like ICE is above the law to do that, is a constitutional violation,
Yeah,
which is a
they-
huge problem.
They have been disrespectful to the Constitution and law from day one. Insurrectionist movement. So, Indy, how do you feel about it, baby? Because I know you're not. Are you in it? Are you an activist? What are you doing this week?
This week. I personally just feel like it's all wrong, but I feel like we could go on a tangent forever. I think that we really do need to be in the streets and more assertive and more. I'm excited about this Black Panther revival thing because I'm a big fan of the Black activism, civil rights movement era, because I feel like that's when we was really on the streets and making change. So
yeah, and what's the guy's
we gotta
name? His
participate.
name is not Commander, Chairman Paul. Chairman Paul Birdsong.
Yes.
Big shout out to Chairman Paul Birdsong. This is what I want you to do, though, player, because I don't want you to lose steam for a movement that can really have some traction. We're not going to be saying what we're doing to folk. Let's not even get caught up in the algorithm or this kind of like placating that this administration is doing. Let's not do that. Let's mobilize enough people to have presence and have a show of force if necessary. Now, a show of force is protecting your neighbors. A show of force is, being present while these things are happening. The one thing we are seeing with ICE, and we're talking about more than Donald Trump, ICE in the administration, but we had to get this out the way because it's happening right now, is that when you come into these places where there are a lot of people, these ICE motherfuckers ain't busting too many moves. I'm telling you, the things you're seeing are like when it's a couple people, they're not in fear of anything popping off. And then the other side of that is to not pop off. And this is why I'm talking to you, Chairman, because your first thing we saw of you is I put a hole in somebody's chest. And yes, your machinery around your motherfucking thing showed that you could do that, but that's not what we're doing. There's not enough guns in the street to go against the military. Now, this is what they're trying to do. These people are showing up in your communities in military garb, but aren't military. We were just having a conversation. Give me this camera, right? We were just having a conversation about where the Proud Boys at. Where the Proud Boys, where all these ancillary extensions of the Trump MAGA movement. Well, guess what? They in them motherfucking masks. They are ICE. They're the ones who are being hired. But again, ladies and gentlemen, back to the front there. I like that movement you're doing with that camera there, girl. We cannot afford to stoop down to the level because although they are protected by the government, they are not the majority. You are going to see, and hopefully not, because I've been hearing ramblings that people are saying like, oh, it's going to get back to your grandmama in them day. We actually might go to war. We're not going to war because if we go to war, there's nuclear implications that we can't come back from. This is not a drop a bomb, clean up, and build a mall. Like, this is not what they did in Gaza. You dig what I'm saying? These superpowers are old. They are from that guard. These leaders of these superpowers are old and from the guard, right, of that ignorant ass destroyed and we will rebuild. We are not coming back from hydrogen bombs. We're not coming back from nuclear bombs. So do not buck until it is time to buck. There might come a time, right? But you, Chairman Paul, you people that are protecting your neighborhoods with guns and things of that nature, you got to be deep. You got to be deep. You want to say something, Tiffany? I know you look at you over there itching. You saw her?
Yeah.
You need to learn her energy over
Well,
there.
no.
Move the thing now.
No. I was actually, because this leads to the point that you actually want to talk about as well today, because that video that you're referencing, Chairman Birdsong actually went on, like, made a separate video and said that his words was being chopped up. That video, he said that the person that cut out a chunk of what he had said, because he said that the video in its current viral version goes from him saying like, if ICE roll up, I'm putting a hole in their chest, and then it goes into something else, shows other
But
scenes.
you could tell.
But he said that the full statement was, if ICE, the police, or anyone shows up and tries to harm me or my community, I'm gonna put that hole in their chest. And that's how, so he cut that part out.
But yeah, no, I get it. But we still can't show up talking like that.
Oh well, no.
You have a movement that is historically known, for violence. The way, if you let the media tell it, but they were not that. They were about community first. So we can't have this resurgence of a historical Black movement like the Black Panthers and not make it make sense. So this is just an offering. You could do what you want. I pray for you. I hope that you can, enact the original mission, which is to make sure the poor goes fed, right? Or the hungry get fed, the poor gets jobs, and the real reasoning behind that movement being created. But I also want to move on, because we're not going to talk about that shit and go down the rabbit hole all fucking day. I was just talking to Tiffany and Indy, and they were talking about falling in love every week on Instagram, and I told them that that's not real. That's not actually how it happened. But these Instagram people, y'all, these beautiful women, these men, they're not real people. Can you speak to that, Tiffany? Because I be seeing some shit, and the AI is getting better and better. It's unbelievable. But they are looking like real people, but they not.
No, big facts. And that's exactly what I was segueing about, the being mixed messages in general. It is getting incredibly hard, from news to people on down. It's like the internet now is a complete fraud. So much so that
So we should get rid of it. Should we get rid of social media?
Well, honestly, I think that we should. And the reason being is because, like we were talking about offline, Trump has put, people in place on all of the major sites anyways. So if we can't trust reputable news, and I do think it's time to, I don't think it's about social media, but it is time to get back to grassroots.
Well, we cannot trust media, because, Trump just appointed a Trump supporter into the presidency of Meta. We just saw that Larry Ellison, and I just saw some crazy Nazi dress something with him on. I'm like, well, no, that's not. Clearly, it was not his putting out, but his son just bought CBS, right? Like, these things are showing you how we can't trust media. So the question becomes, where do we go for our media? Who do we trust? Let me get this camera. And this is really something for you to think about. We have so many talking heads on social platforms and in the world. And to Tiffany's point about AI, you don't know what to believe. It's time to choose. It's time to choose. Right now, we have to choose who we are going to champion to being the messenger. Who's the messenger? Who are the messengers? Who are the trusted voices of culture? We got to do that, because there's people that are highly intelligent, but they were nerds their whole life, so now they have a platform, and they're going to fall to, to the algorithm. They're going to get caught up in the celebrity and what that makes them feel like, because they never had that feeling. They're going to get past their smarts and move on from their intelligence, because they love the feel that this attention is bringing. They love the feel of what these things, and I get it, but we need voices that don't go off script, that don't change. And I'm talking about the human script. I'm not talking about, this fake urge. I'm talking about the human algorithm, the things that are necessary for us to digest and then act upon. We got to pick. We got to choose. We can no longer have all these talking heads talking. It got to go. Don't y'all agree?
I definitely do. And I have a question for you, because taking it off of politics and talking about the latest in AI news, the music scene has been exploding with those AI artists. So much so that the one that I think Georgia Smith was was trying to get taken down, how they really used her as part of the code to make the AI artist sound like her, but then tried to deny the plausibility of that. But then on top of that, they were saying that the person, or the AI artist, not the person, my fault, the AI artist that they had created actually started off as a white woman singing folk songs.
Crazy. How do you feel about that and I'm gonna ask you, because you're my Gen Z representation. Um, how do you feel about like where we are with all of that?
I just feel like that we have gotten too off script. I feel like when social media started and Facebook and even down to MySpace, like it was for bringing community together. But I just feel like with our systematic structure, community is not what they want. So anytime there's a chance for community, we're just coming in with some different distraction to tear it up. So for me, from my opinion, I was there when Instagram started. I was there when we hopped on Facebook. I even had MySpace. And that when it was started, it
You
was
old enough to
all
have MySpace?
who said I was old enough?
Okay.
No, just kidding. But I did have it. And during that time, it was just all about being in social gathering and being in community and keeping up each other updated. So for now, I'm just not with any AI stuff besides Chat GPT, Chat PPT, whatever they say.
Right.
Yeah, besides that, because that'd be helping me out sometimes. But other than that, I don't like the AI.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Personally.
that's Indy with the T. And she don't have no tea right now, but she adds value to this motherfucking place. What was the other thing we had to talk about, Indy? It's one more thing we had to cover. We did the news, the Malcolm X. Now, Tiffany, tell us what this was now.
So pretty much yesterday after we were getting prepared for Dr. King's birthday today. Well, actually, my fault. Hold on. That was Friday. Yeah, his birthday was Friday. We were getting prepared for MLK Day. The Homeland Security ICE deportation page on Instagram and Twitter decided, and it's their official page, they decided to be assholes and post a AI image of Malcolm X.
Wow.
And Donald Trump with a line from Brother Malcolm's speech where he said that the white liberal is the worst white person. But they took off the remainder of his speech where he said that, conservatives were as well, because the point of that speech was that liberals were bad because they were covert, but the conservatives were wolves because we knew who they were. But they took it and misquoted him.
Okay, this is where I continue to tell my white brothers and sisters, they don't care about white people. They don't. They care about an ideology and a certain type of white person. This is a fact. And look at Nicki Minaj. Look at all the black and brown folks that support this man. They have no real identity either. They have no real culture either. We gotta get. I love when Tiffany claps by herself and Indy don't clap back. It's supposed to be a group thing, so we act like we got people in the studio. This is live. No, but I'm serious though, y'all. And I want my white brothers and sisters to understand these folk don't care about. They shot a white woman in the face 3 times. That man was not in danger. He did not have anything to fear from this woman other than a loud horn that irritated him. But this is how they feel about you. So we're gonna get off of that right now. We're gonna all say woosah on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Woosah. We weren't on the same page, but it's fine. We're all lifted in prayer together. And now it's time for live from the comment sections, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you got the alert, but if you want to be, do we have anyone? Huh? Oh, we don't. If you want to go live with us, go into the DM of the Kenny Burns Show now so she can send you a link. The whole goal of this, and I'm starting to like this live version better, ladies and gentlemen, because I think the interviews are doing this thing on the interview side with, the way that we're framing culture. And I love the way that, we're reporting this news in the moment. Like right now it's happening. So we're doing this live and we're doing it with you. So if you want to come on live with us right now, do so. Until then, Tiffany, do you have a comment from the comment section?
Yes, sir, we do. Now, the comments in the chat have been going crazy.
Yeah.
When I say y'all have been showing up and showing out, keep it up. Okay. Nicole Mitchell says,
Tiffany hype.
Because listen, they putting batteries in my back. Y'all better cut it out now.
You
Okay.
sure ain't the batteries in the other thing?
See, now if we making it that type of show, I'm about to say, turn up. No, but Nicole Mitchell 7329 says, wow, we are the original makers of music. There's always other try to copy off of us. Originality is official.
Listen, I'm not going to go into this race thing because I think for the first time in modern history, you are seeing blatantly that it's not about race. Because if it was only about race, Mrs. Good would be alive. Miss Good, the lady who died, she would be alive. If it was about that, you wouldn't see people getting punched in the face. You wouldn't see these things happening to white people like they've happened to black and brown this entire time. I don't want you to let that go over your head. But we got to be diligent, y'all. Because just like in that protest the other day, the Nazi tried to come outside. The same Nazi, give me this camera over here, by the way. The same Nazi who was taking a baseball bat to a police officer's head at the insurrection. He went by himself. He felt so emboldened. And mind you, they're going to Minneapolis for a reason. We'll get to that in 1 second. But he felt so emboldened like they wouldn't do nothing to him. So he got his ass whooped. But who saved him? A black man. And Jessica, I'm sorry, not Jessica. Tiffany looking like, why he do that? Because that is the humane thing to do. He would have died. And we can't let go of who we are as a people because these folk is I was about to say mildly retarded. But for real, bro, these lapses of judgment, these are weak people and followers who are fucking with him. That's why I'm telling y'all right now, if you see ICE in your city and you want to protect your community, show up in droves. Show up and don't do nothing, though. Because, see, that's what they want. That's why I said Minneapolis is a place because they know what happened during George Floyd's protest. They know that this city is a blue state and under heavy scrutiny by this administration. They're doing all these things on purpose. But big shout to the P. Vannies of the world. Big shout to the Don Lemons and people that are going to report what's happening because, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot fall for the banana tailpipe. They want to evoke martial law. They want to evoke these certain states. The insurrectionists are doing X, Y, Z. They send the military in there. Y'all heard just a couple of days ago, Tim Walz was going to execute his right as the governor, put the motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? Not Coast Guard, child. The National Guard in play. But it hasn't happened yet because of what? Federal law. These are all tricky things, y'all. These are all, and the bottom line is going to come down to the people. To Indy's point, it's going to come down to the people and protest. And just like those kids that were with me in Detroit, big shout out to Dennis Archer. He had 2 interns there. Christy was one and Jack was the other. They literally are on the right side of history. Young white kids that go to Michigan University. Big shout out to the University of Michigan. But they don't agree with none of this. But they have friends that do. And they have dialogue about it. And that's what we got to have. I'm with the shits. I'm with Tiffany's militant ass. I want to go just, do some things sometimes because it makes you that mad. But we have to be on the right side of history. We got any more comments here?
Yes, sir. And also, too, because Nikki she was going ham about the AI artist because she loved the fact that you was like, we are the sauce. Yeah. So, but also, too, TT Nick U was saying that when it comes to original news sources, she said that is 100% facts. She said the ones that she watches are Don Lemon for independent news, as well as Jolly Ginger. She said those are good ones to look at as well. Yeah. And then KB has also mentioned P. Vanny.
Yeah, you about to burp? You all right? We live. No, you was about to burp. We saw you. Oh, man. You was about to burp or fart?
No, I was shooting it to you, but I do want to know though, because the AI artist, because taking it out of political, you know what I'm saying? I really do want to know for you as a creative. The reason why, Mr. Burns, I want you to kind of expound is because you have been since day one against putting your vocals and your likeness in AI for this exact reason.
Yeah, my sister Robin, big shout out to Robin Line, Ball Alert owner, founder. She one day called me. She's like, "Can you read this text into the prompter?" And da-da-da-da. I was like, "For what?" And she's like, "Cuz I can do stuff with your voice and I had to have you here." I'm like, "No, hell no. Why would I do that? My likeness, my voice is my money. First of all, that is my IP. That is how I make money." But then I'm thinking about my likeness. I'm thinking about, well, damn, they can create an entire me without me doing nothing. What fun is in that? Number one, as a creative, I don't care what it frees you up to do, how you could be doing other things. As a creative, you want to get your hands dirty. Would an artist say I'm gonna do a painting without using a brush? Would you know what I'm saying? Would a host actually be at a function without being there with the mic in his or her hand? So I get weirded out about that. I want to shout out Everybody Loves the Sunshine. He's on Instagram right now. Oh my God, I can't see the thing. Is that a he? Looks like he got a gray beard. It's very small. Don't judge me. But he or she said, you like that? Okay, great. Don't shut up. They said, yeah, I just knew after Miss Good was murdered on live TV, things would change. This is how we know it's not just about Raw. Okay, I don't know what that means. He's trying to keep the office. He said jokingly yesterday that not yesterday, it was a Friday. I don't think we should have an election in 2026. Like, bro, get on your motherfucking head. Is there anything not about Trump? I know we've been talking about it.
Yes. Shout out to Jay Hill on Instagram, who's saying that not only does he love this iteration of TKBS Live, but he said the studio is dope.
Thank you, player. We've been really, we told you guys the last quarter that we were going to be changing up things. We've been having some good fortune to run into some amazing people that we want to frame in culture. And give their flowers. And so it's going to work out in your favor. I think this live version will end up being the version of the Kenny Burns Show going forward. That way you can get it right then and there. You can go back and, did you say Raw? What did you say? You like Raw? I like the Raw too. Give me that camera, Tiffany. Do this. Jump on. Have fun. So this feels a little more interactive and fun. So thank you for your comment. And we will do our best to keep it going. And now it's time for As the World Turns with Kenny Burns. Ladies and gentlemen, in the immortal words of Confucius, don't let your expectations exceed your effort. We are in a time right now where that statement reigns true on so many levels. We've been sidelined, armchair quarterbacks. We've been sidelined coaches. We've been all these things. But to, our beautiful intern's point, man, we got to get in the game. You want change? You want to be, in this, on the right side of history, in this process of history changing in our favor? You got to be in the game. We can't be on the sidelines no more. We can't be armchair quarterback. We got to be out our seats and in the game, off the sidelines in the game. The power is with the people. And until we realize that, I don't think we're going to get what we came for. All right, round of applause for everybody who participated in today's show. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the Kenny Burns Show. Okay, we need you to like, comment, and sharing these amazing conversations. Tomorrow, episode 170, a conversation with Nikki Gilbert from Brownstone. I don't think you're ready. This was an era and time and reigns true today, 31 years later from their debut album. We will have Nikki Gilbert from Brownstone on the Kenny Burns Show tomorrow. I love you in real life. We'll talk soon. Peace. That was good.